All right, the fourth exercise is spinal rotations. What you're going to do, feet are the same distance apart, they're hip width, feet straight ahead. You're going to turn your torso, keeping your feet fixed to the ground. Okay? Turn your torso as far as your muscles can take you, not the momentum of a swing, but as far as your muscles can contract along your spine, along your ribs, along your head, neck, everything on from the top all the way down to the bottom. As far as you can go, and back to center. As far as you can go, back to center. As far as you can go, back to center. And my feet are not leaving the ground as I go. A more advanced move, once you get this, and your movement, again, it's the greatest range of motion you can handle. If this is your movement, then that's your movement. If this is the only place you can take it, then that's where you start. You do this over months and months and months, pretty soon, you're that 89-year-old with ankylosing spondylitis of the spine, and you're rotating as far as you've never dreamed possible. It's the strength of the tissue supporting the skeleton that will create motion. It's just got to be strong. The stronger you are, the more mobile you will become. It has nothing to do with flexibility. It's the strength of the tissue surrounding that joint, letting that joint go through its greatest range of motion, proportionate to the strength of that. Now, a more advanced move on this rotation, I'm going to show from, I can show straight on. What you're going to do, if I'm rotating to one side, now this gets a little more complicated, but for those of you that can actually comprehend what I'm talking about, when you rotate to the left, to go further, you want to involve your lower half. How you want to do that? You would want to fire your opposite glute, your opposite butt, to pull your leg into the ground. So if I want to turn this way, I'll go right here, not involving this is as far as I go. Now if I try to fire this muscle here to pull my leg into the ground, I can go that much further. And it counters it. So the glute has to push that hip forward to allow that rotation to go. Now you've got something to work off of. Same thing goes to this way. This is just up top. This is top up. This is as far as I can go. If I activate this left glute and pull it to the ground, I counter that motion and go a little further. Now you're involving your glutes and your hamstrings, reacting with the ground. That's very much like real life. Learning to create these motions through the greatest range, reacting with the ground. Because after all, we are ground movers. We are interacting with earth. And gravity is a whole different gig than, say, sitting down doing something in water, in a bungee kind of a harness kind of a thing where we're not allowed to absorb as much weight as what we would when we're walking around. So, rotating, contract that glute, the opposite glute. I'm going to rotate to the right, it's my left glute. And after a while, it's going to get tired. I mean, it's going to get all the way up from ground up. How much to do on these? Again, work up to 5 minutes. If it means 10 to 20 reps in 5 minutes, then that's what you do. But we try to total up working for 5 minutes. Okay? If you can do 150 to 200 or so it's like one in about 5 minutes. That's a pretty good pace for this. So spinal rotations, react with the ground, really good exercise.